what I'm saying is that this time it is more important than ever before to be able to speak, to be able to speak to each other and connect, like on person to person. Just messaging, just, social media, or just, is not enough, particularly this time. I feel that people should just reach out. And because, yes, we cannot, social distancing is not allowing us to be physically intimate, but yes, conversations can always happen.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I definitely feel that we have to reach out to one another much more. To me, the bigger pandemic, I mean, not to say that the corona isn't enough, but for me, the deadlier and the more unspoken and the more catastrophic pandemic, which I think is in every home, every family, it's within our friend circle, within our work circle, within our community network, is social alienation, social distancing, this feeling of depression and absolute loneliness, where we are just recoiling and retreating into our shells. This is very dangerous potentially, because anyway, like I said, if you're a single woman who has had salary cuts, who's burdened with the caregiving responsibilities, whose children are there at home, so the children are pressurized because of online classes. I've had women who've actually taken loans to buy a laptop, to buy two more phones, because now only with one laptop and one phone it is no longer enough, because the pressure on children to be present on these digital classes, for the parents to be continuously checking these WhatsApp groups, it's very, very hard for women. And the ILO has also done surveys, Komalika, where it says that during the lockdown, the emotional burden, the physical burden of this lockdown is much, much more on women. We've seen even in situations where women are married, we've seen the National Commission of Women releasing a report that the domestic violence and abuse cases are very, very high. I have had cases in my community of women being ill treated by their married, brother's wife. They're running into arguments with parents. Teenage children are more rebellious, snapping at the mothers, being very demanding, very rude with the single parent. So it's very hard, it's been very hard. And I definitely feel that this is a time, like my friends know, this is a blanket rule. I'm not going to text. Don't be a lazy communicator. Pick up the phone and talk to me. If we can do webinars, if we can do Zoom calls and Skype chats and Google Hangouts for our professional visibility, why can't we extend those channels of communication to each other and bridge the communication gap? I think, what I've also seen during this phase is people really losing communication etiquette. They won't answer your calls. They won't, people are, I think, we have to use this time to bridge the gap. Program today. For me, I just had one thought: I have to support a woman entrepreneur, even if she's a creative entrepreneur. I want to be a part of Kamalika's show. I do a show, as you know, I completed 10 episodes and now I'm doing it only on single women. And I've had, Kamla Bhasin, I'm having Malika Sarabhai, all these erudite, well-known women. We're supporting each other. This is what we have to do, because the world around us is just collapsing. Our mental states are so fragile. All of us are shaken, we are scared. We've seen the corona, infiltrating into our family networks. I've lost my Mashi and Mesho within 9 days of each other in the month of May. It is a very, very scary time, and we need each other. We need the comfort and we need the care and we
Right.
need the love and the reassurance of each other. But sometimes what I see on social media is just toxicity. Women bringing down women, the tweets which are so like vitriolic, the haters. I think this is not the time. We have to
Absolutely.
unite, we
If I
have to
may,
join hands.
say, yes, the toxicity that you're talking about, at times, I just see that people have lost empathy.
Hmm.
People have, I wonder, I was reading an article on that, what is it that, what has suddenly happened that people are showing such a side of themselves? Is it the
Hmm.
anonymity of social media, that you can just go and, use somebody else's timeline as your punching bag, and you can just go and just say whatever you want? But it is extremely scary that a person or groups of people are feeling free to, express themselves in this way, because it just it's scary that if this is representative of the society that we are going to be living in, or that we are living for leaving back for the future generation, this toxicity, this has to end. People have to understand that people have to be there for others. It is uh, also, here I would say, people, you have to be
Hmm.
there for yourself first. Find and work on
Hmm.
yourself to become a better version of yourself.
Hmm. I also think that, social media, I'm so tempted, Kamalika, to get off it, because in the name of supporting women, feminism, every day I'm being added to some group on women, I just feel that I've seen absolute vitriolic bullying, eve teasing, backstabbing, and absolute hate on these groups, and very honestly speaking, I stay away from WhatsApp groups, because I think, be it you're building WhatsApp group, or be it your cousin's WhatsApp group, I think a lot of it becomes just rage. People
Hmm.
just have internet, they have accessibility, and they want to just, and today everybody is an Arnab Goswami. It's not Arnab is today having so many millions of subscribers and fans because there is an Arnab in each of us.
Correct.
There is a Kangana Ranaut in all of us. हमको सबको footage चाहिए. We all want our 5 minutes of fame and glory and this fake social media validation. So as you know, I had a community page for single women on Facebook, which was over 1,000 members strong. And in the month of June, suddenly one morning we wake up to see that one of the admins of that group, she's actually hacked that community. And in the middle of the night, she's removed me, the community founder. She's removed another girl in Bangalore who used to manage the technology. And she's just blocked 300 members, sat and deleted people. I mean, why? My point is, why are we becoming the lowest possible versions of ourselves? What rat race are we winning? Today, if I have a problem with you, pick up the phone, have a civil conversation. Life is so short. When I lost my aunt and uncle, I'm an only child. My cousin also is an only daughter, and both of us are single women. We are the same age. Somewhere, Komalika, it just hit home how fragile life is. In 9 days, my sister, who's a head honcho, she runs a huge organization based out of Pune, has the world at her feet. She lost the two most important people in her life, her parents. For some of you who have already borne the pain of losing a parent, you know what that means. So, I think we are all suffering, we are all vulnerable right now, because I think it is time for us to realize that the only blessing that we have is health. Today, if you have a roof over your head, if you have food to eat, if you have one or two good friends in your life, your children go to school, you have a laptop where you can read a book on Kindle, you can watch a good film on Netflix or Amazon Prime, you know you should actually, I think this lockdown has made me more gentle. But when I look around, and amongst women especially, all I see, unfortunately, and it pains me to say this as a woman and as a, I would say, a spokesperson for a community in India which is so large and diverse, most of the time I see one-upmanship, I see shallow backbiting, and I see, almost like if one woman says that, okay, this is bad, 40 other women, like almost a mob lynching. So what we are seeing being played out on our television screens now, in terms of the news, it is happening on our laptops, it is happening in our circles. It's time to introspect.
Definitely. And it is also time to introspect on how can, we turn from being, a part of this vicious circle, a part of this toxicity, to at least, and I feel that, we cannot change the society. We cannot step out to change the world. But what we can do
Mm,
is change ourselves. And so that as
mm,
individuals, we can have a better and a more positive life. And to have a
mm,
positive life, to be able to lead life in a positive way, we have to first find that positivity within ourselves. Correct. So, Shrima,
mm, mm.
I like,
Absolutely.
at Artscape, to be able to find this positivity, to be able to find this balance within ourselves, to find connect with our emotional self, we use a lot of art, expressive
Mm,
arts, so which includes music, it includes drama, it includes movement, it includes meditation, of course. And with that, a lot of our work is with creative writing and journaling. In our
mm,
sessions, we encourage people that, there are so many, like you said, that, that do not have somebody to share with, do not have somebody to speak their mind to. There was somebody who told me that,
mm,
my day goes in such a haze that I don't have time to even think about what am I thinking about. So
mm,
am I angry? Am I anxious? Am I fearful? What is it that is going on in my head? People, many people do not even have time to delve over it. So one
mm,
process that we use a lot in our work, in our sessions that we deliver at Artscape, is writing.
mm.
And why I bring this up with you is that, writing is what you've made your career with. But here, my question to you would be, how has this writing, this form of expression, helped you, Srimoyi, to find emotional balance?
So, I grew up, I mean, I'll have to do a sort of a rewind and flashback, if I may. So, I
Please,
actually
please.
grew up a very lonely child in a large, sprawling ancestral home in Kolkata. And my mother was a widow when she moved back in with her maternal parents. And I was raised in the company of my aging grandparents, my maternal grandparents, my mother, who was a struggling single mother, and a retinue of house helps who were definitely much more than blood and family, but they were all much older than me. So for me, writing has always been cathartic. I think writing to me is like breathing. Every second that I live, every thought of mine is actually something that I'm thinking in my mind, which I want to transcribe onto paper. So I feel, even before I became a journalist, I mean, which was the beginning of my professional writing career, I would say in the year 2000, after I passed out from Jadavpur University. And I actually gave up the opportunity to study in Cambridge to become a journalist because I was really, really passionate about being part of the media. And I was very young, I was 21 years old. And of course, the salary was dismal. It was 4,500 rupees a month in a city like Delhi, which was alien and cold and aggressive and hard after a very protected childhood in Kolkata. But I would say that, I have always found writing to be a medium of personal expression first. So when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm lonely, and I think, as a writer, I realize that now, there is a part of me which will always hold out. So I'm lonely even when I'm in relationships. I'm lonely even in a group of people. And I think it's that part of me, that, how do I say, that very reclusive, introverted, quiet place within me, which produces my words, which spins the yarns, of my stories. That there is that, like a secret chamber within me, which has always been there since I was a child. So writing, I think, especially now, I would say in the pandemic period, is extremely cathartic. I always encourage the women in my community to share, to vent, to, even if there is no one, like if you've called 5 friends and all of them are busy at that point of time, just, even if you don't want to get out of the bed and pick up a diary or a journal or a pen and anything, just take your phone out and just write what you feel, write the notes. If like, I know there are a lot of women who say, no, but Shrimoy, we are not good writers. It doesn't matter. It's just expression. Who is to judge whether it's good or bad? I mean, look at the trash that is floating around on Facebook. And, I mean, a person who just puts, 2 lines sometimes gets 1,000 likes. There is really no standard of writing anymore. Everybody, I think, who can spell and, who has internet connectivity today wants to call themselves a writer. So I think, we should actually take advantage of that in a positive way, and start a blog. If I know a lot of these blog sites are expensive, but at the end of the day, it is important to be able to vent your feelings and thoughts. That, I think, is extremely important, because now, especially with the lockdown, people are feeling really trapped. We are stuck at home all the time. We are not able to go out. Our professional livelihoods are at stake. I know for a lot of people, their relationships are compromised and volatile right now. So I think you can build up a sanctuary of your own, a quiet place where you can retreat and remove your masks and just be vulnerable and exposed. Uh, that is through your writing. And I would say that is a wonderful way of healing yourself, of expressing self love, of internalizing pain or humiliation or neglect or depression. In fact, one of the, in therapy, one of the things that you're made to do is, maintain written records of your feelings and emotions. Because sometimes when you write it out, it's almost like, it's almost like an invisible therapist. You're actually writing it out, means it's almost like speaking to someone. So I think the power of the written word, is absolutely irreplaceable, invincible, and it can heal you and heal others. That's what I
Correct.
feel.
Absolutely. That's exactly, even in our sessions, the time that we spent with together, this is what we do, we just say that, just carry, just a paper, and you just give little prompts, and people just go back to different times in their life and write about it and reminiscing about it. And see, I personally have been someone who's been writing a diary for like years. I started writing in mid school, and I have also, I also find that extremely therapeutic, which is why I always talk to people that try it. And as you said, that you don't need to have any fancy blog, or you don't have to be a writer in the in the correct sense of the way, like but yes, this is just a time with yourself where you can just maybe even confront or face your thoughts or emotions beautifully.
Yeah.
Srimohi, you mentioned something which I would want to take forward, is self-love.
Hmm.
You spoke about self-love. So this is
Hmm.
also something that Artscape really, really, puts attention on, is
Hmm.
self-love and self-care. It
Hmm.
is beyond, we don't, it is not enough to say that we all need to love ourselves, and we all
Hmm.
need to care for ourselves. But for
Right.
some reason, self-love, self-caring is associated with thoughts like being selfish, doing something for yourself, or because somewhere traditionally, I don't know what is it, conventionally, people are, women in particular, are always have been put themselves behind, you know, just to
Hmm.
take out some time in the day to uh, just sit by yourself. And so
Hmm.
it is very important to understand that self-care or loving oneself has nothing to do with anybody else, or nothing to be associated with words like selfishness, or pampering yourself. There's nothing to feel guilty about loving yourself,
Hmm.
right?
I think so. I think also, while there is a lot of importance on self-love, and I think, we just feel, we also, I think, look at self-love very superficially. Self-love just doesn't mean putting up, headstands, or showing yourself beautiful with a selfie, or, an obese woman, wearing a bikini and saying, hey, look, I'm flaunting my curves, or a mother saying that, oh look, I'm taking a home spa because this is my me time. I think self love is intrinsically associated with healing your scars. Self love is being committed to your inner revolution. Self love is about understanding your self worth, and to dissociate it from external validation, professional success, financial power, privileges, or, the kind of fame or money or relationships that you may or may not have in your life. I think self love should be replaced with the word self worth and self care, or maybe all three words should be together packaged, like, you buy one and you get the other free, because they're related. Self love, according to me, is not just about external beauty. It's not just about, saying that, oh look, I have a double chin and I'm not ashamed to, not put concealer and hide it. For me, it's about going deeper within yourself. So, like, I'm always telling the single women in my community that do not be afraid to flaunt your singlehood. And I'm always very critical when people say, don't you feel lonely? Don't you feel lonely? Are you not scared what will happen to you after your parents? I always tell them that work on yourself. And I believe that too. I mean, I have to reach a place of forgiveness and compassion and love and acceptance for my own self if I want the world to see it. So, in Buddhism, we say that the universe is a mirror which reflects back to you what you are. So I think for me, I have always, this is my definition of self love, that love your scars, understand your behavior patterns. Why is it that I always attract the same relationship karma, the same money karma, the same professional karma? What are the lies and the wounds and the pain that I've been running away all my life from? Who are my friends? What is it that I want in my life, in my relationships, in my work? So, I feel that life is like, it's a constant upgrade. But we have to find, like, it's like recharging a mobile phone, but we have to find that electric socket to plug the charger into, and then just commit to that process, that yeah, now the phone needs to be recharged, and we are going to give it the time and space we need for that. So if you need to meditate, sit in silence every day, do that. You don't have to download a fancy app and put it up on Instagram that yogi, meditation, bliss, om, hashtag. Everything in your life is not a hashtag. There are personal moments of deep, deep cleansing and inner reconstruction, which I think all of us need to commit to. And what better time than now, when we've been given this chance to spend more time with ourselves and our families?
Correct. So, for me, Srimoy, I look at self-love is everything that you just mentioned. And I would sum it up by saying that, it's a journey to find our unique self. Because
Yeah.
we are, each one of us are different beings. And
Hmm.
what better than to connect with that person, uh, and that is within us, to be able to, empower ourselves, find our own strength, find our own resilience, and not to see. I think social media, I don't know whether we should blame everything on social media, but still, I'm thinking that, this whole thing about validation, that
Hmm.
I feel that, using face filters, you are just kind of endorsing and
Hmm.
pushing an image of you that is not you. Because when I'm putting a filter on my face, I know
Yeah.
that that's not my actual face, my
Yeah.
texture.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
this is just a simple thing. But I feel that it is very important to be comfortable with yourself, to
Mm-hmm.
find, your strength and weaknesses, to be the person
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Srimali, tell
Yeah.
me about you mentioned that this lockdown is also a period, it's giving us an opportunity to maybe get some time to look into a lot of things that we have maybe kept waiting or not delved into. It's giving us time to spend with our near and dear ones. If I may ask, in a positive way, what else has the lockdown taught you, Srimu?
I think it's taught me that necessity is the mother of invention. It's also taught me that adversities can be opportunities. It's also taught me the power of community. And one thing that I've realized is, actually what the Prime Minister said, I mean, I'm not endorsing any particular political party, but I like that term Atmanirbharata,
Yes.
because actually, for me, as a single woman who's a caregiver to aging parents, who has a 16-year-old at home and a large community to manage, and who went through, this whole period of being personally very shattered and broken when the page was hacked into, it made me question a lot of things, that, why am I doing this work? The ungrateful nature of people, the backstabbing. I think it's also taught me, Kamalika, Akla Cholore, what the great Nobel laureate had composed so many years back. I think that is really what I have learned during this lockdown, that you are enough. Aham Brahma, what the Gita says, that within you resides the entire universe. So the power of one, this whole, I think, vocal for local, what does that mean? Actually, I think, if you look at it very spiritually, this is a time when the universe is actually in ascension. It is stripping us of all the external glories. Work is going, we are realizing that we are powerless. Today, even a rich man can die, even a poor man on the road can die from the same virus. Nothing can save you. We are also realizing how do I say, how powerless we are in the face of nature, and what we have done by contaminating and polluting and abusing nature. So, I think this is a time of great soul searching for me. It's also, for me, I've also realized, Kamalika, who are my friends? Because, there are a lot of people who want to be associated with you and who want to show closeness to you when the limelight is strong. But, when there are no events, when there are no books, when there's nothing really going, when everybody is under a cloud, then who are the people who check up on you? Who are the ones who call you and say, Shrimoy, how is your mother? My mother recently had a very bad fall in the toilet. So, how is your mother? How is your sister? How are you? Who are your friends? I think this has been a time for me to understand the genuineness and the purpose and the intent of my relationships, which I think is absolutely been, it's almost been like a toxic, like a detox. So I've actually been able to separate wheat from chaff. I've been able to, compartmentalize people now, that okay, these are the people who only want to ping me or check on me if there's something that I have to offer them, a chance to be on my show, to be, to invite them for an event that I'm curating. But beyond that, if I strip it all away, who wants to hear my voice once a week? Who wants to ask after the well being of my parents? Who's concerned about my mental health? That here you are, a woman who's always being strong for others, but are you okay? Are you sad? Are you worried about your parents? Are you devastated after you lost your Mashi and Misho? So I think for me, it's taught me this. And also, Kamalika, because I've been able to do the show online, I think it's important work that I'm doing, talking on social issues, doing an entire series now on single women, to highlight the diversity and the situations that we find ourselves in. I think maybe if the lockdown hadn't happened, I wouldn't have thought of these things so closely. So, like I said, Atmanirbharata, adversity being turned into opportunity, and knowing who your friends are, knowing who your well-wishers are. I think these three, for me, have been the greatest learning.
Absolutely. So, Srimoni, I just wanted to hear this from you because every situation, whether we are in control of it or not in control of it, I also, like you just said, even I always try to see the positive side of things.
Mm,
I
mm,
also try and see that, what is it that I can learn out of this. And if I
mm,
may share, Chimoy, for the first few days or weeks now, I just didn't know what was happening. I was preparing for a show. There was a lot of sessions that we were going to do for Arthur. And suddenly, and then I realized that from the time that I've been in high school, I have always had such a, like my days have been so filled. Then I realized that maybe, this
mm.
is also a time, like for many others, for me to just, uh, step back,
Still,
change shift the gears of my life, and just maybe,
yeah.
um, just relax, maybe, because all the time, I've been, how it is that you are always preparing a diary, preparing a calendar, not only for the next day, but for the next week, for the next month, and you feel that you have everything in control. And the pandemic showed you that there's nothing that is in our control. So I feel that that's a thing that the universe ended up teaching us, and of course,
Mm.
an opportunity. So I feel like I would say again that people or whoever is hearing us or will hear us when we, these conversations stay on our timeline. So when you hear us, know that that this is also a time for you to introspect, and maybe a time to connect better with yourself. And
Mm.
we at Artscape have been regularly sending out invitations to participate, for you to come and participate in our sessions. These sessions are done over Zoom, and we have one on the 19th also. There is no charges or fees that is taken for this session. So if anybody would like to participate, we'll leave our contacts in the message. One can get in touch also. And also, Srimohi, if you feel that there is anybody who would would benefit from a session such as ours, you please feel free to let them know about us, because these sessions are, if I can just put it in one umbrella, it would be about self care.
Right.
It would be about self care. So I feel that it would benefit anybody. And there is never any harm to touch base with your own self. So it would never do us any harm. So I would just say, Srimoyi, that once again, thank you so much, dear. Thank you. And my bestest wishes always for you. And I hope
Thank
that.
you for
I hope you found the conversation valuable. Thank you for all your inputs, and I shall remain in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. And I think art is, I feel, really the healer, you know. So we all take refuge in art, we take refuge in, cinema, in song, in poetry, in, beautiful paintings, in sculpture. Uh, Nature around us is art. And I think another learning is that you can't tamper with nature. We have to be more mindful. It's not just enough to buy your children, if you're upper middle class, a fancy tab, or brag about a foreign holiday. Teach them the value of human life, teach them human values of compassion, and being kind and being ethical and empathetic. And also, because nothing else matters really. I mean, look at it today. As I said, even Amitabh Bachchan could get COVID, a rickshawala can get COVID. So it is really, anything can happen. Realize that mental health needs to be at a premium. Talk to your children about the pressures that they are facing, readapting to a new form of learning. Look at the number of suicides in younger children. It's not just farmers and housewives and famous actors, but look at young children who feel so vulnerable and unloved and unsupported and pressurized that they have to take this extreme step. you know, just like I said, encourage each other, build each other up. Don't jump on the, you know, the forward that you've got in a WhatsApp group which may not be validated, and just share it on social media and create a big you know, hoopla and hula la. Don't you know, pass value judgments on some Riya Chakravarti or Kangana. I mean, leave, you know, focus on cleansing and caring and healing your own life. Use this time. We are never going to get it. Perhaps, you know, this is the universe's way of recalibrating our priorities. Allow the universe to work through you. You know, step back, like you said, and take a long, hard look at your priorities, at your friends, at your work, because we are here only for such a short time. You know, we think that there's so much of our lives, but actually think of it, you know. I'm sure a man on his deathbed who may have COVID, he can't even see his family. Imagine the pain and the angst and the estrangement, you know. So really, we are lucky that we're sitting here this evening, looking at each other, that we're hearing this conversation. Really count your blessings and just have grace, invite grace into your lives. I mean, that's what I would say, Kamalika.
And absolutely, Srimoy. And I would also encourage whoever who's hearing us in this conversation that do take this time out, you know, to introspect, to reconnect with yourself and your world. This is a time to maybe, you know, uh, do what you could not do, find yourself, and maybe, you know, work towards getting a better version of yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.